Chapter 36. Thunder. That evening, Eve starts limping. I pull her leg up and examine her hoof, as I've seen Manny do. I can't see any signs of damage. I'm becoming an expert at pushing thoughts out of my head, but every now and then, the image of a man surrounded by flames comes rushing back. Why do you think he did it? I ask Sam. The man on fire, I mean. If you protest peacefully, the soldiers take you away, he says, folding his arms across his chest. It's the same thing in the end, except that more people will pay attention. It's harder to hide that kind of protest from the outside. I stare at him. I'm sure there are other ways, I say. There have to be. You don't understand. Sam has a glazed look on his face. He wanted to protect us. It was a form of protest. He thought if people realised how bad it was, then they would do something about it. But he hasn't protected us, I say. He was the reason Mum and Dad were taken. It's his fault. It wasn't, Tash. It was the soldiers and the rules and everything else. Don't blame him. He's someone I don't recognise, full of a new anger that scares me. We've always understood each other before. I touch the photograph in my coat, wishing Mum and Dad were here. They'd know what to say. Thunder rumbles over the mountains. Unless we find somewhere to camp soon, we'll be caught in a storm. I think about making a snow cave, but it's too much effort. We'd never be able to fit the yaks in anyway. Big raindrops of freezing water sting my ears and water drips inside my collar. I shiver, tightening my hood around my face. The clouds hang low in the sky, swallowing the moon and stars. There's a crack as lightning strikes. For a split second, it illuminates the white snow around us. 1 elephant, I whisper. 2 elephants. 3. Thunder booms. It shakes through my body. It's close, I shout to Sam. Sam passes me Bones's lead. He scrambles up a small ridge. What are you doing? I shout. You'll be hit by lightning. A bolt forks out of the sky like a purple branch reaching out of the clouds. Sam, I shout, get down. I can see a cave, he yells, just over there. It's not much further. Thunder claps above me. Bones pulls on the lead, stepping backwards with wide eyes. This way, says Sam, taking Bones and beckoning me towards the ridge. I walk, but Eve refuses to move. Just a bit further, I say, tugging at the lead. She limps and nudges my hand with her cold, wet nose. Come on, Eve, I say, stroking her head. Icicles cling to the ends of her matted hair. Tash, yells Sam, shining a torch on me. Get in here. I wrap my arms around Eve's head, cover her eyes and push her forward. Chapter 37. Mandala. The roar of the thunder is muted. Sam shines the torch up the walls. It's just big enough for all of us. Eve shakes her coat, spraying water drops on us. Bones nervously lifts his hooves. Sam strokes him, soothing him. I rub Eve's muzzle, feeling the soft bit above her nose between her eyes. Sam squats and builds a fire close to the entrance. It's wet and just a tiny flame ignites, but it calms Eve and she sinks to her knees and lies down. I cuddle up to her wet coat. Sam picks up some charcoal from the fire and draws a circle around us. It scrapes across the floor. He adds a zigzag pattern and forms an inner circle. "A mandala," he says. I smile. It represents the universe and sacred space. When we're inside it, we're safe. "What about the yaks?" I ask. He gets back on his hands and knees and crawls around them, drawing a circle with him. "There," he says, "now we're all safe." Eve licks it with her long, leathery tongue. "I'm sorry it's not food," I whisper. I try again to feed her grains, but she won't eat anything. I glance around the dark, pebbly edges of the cave, half expecting to see a bear. Pulling the copy of The Snow Lion from my pocket, I open it again. Sam snatches the piece of paper out of my hand. "We've got more important things to worry about, like what on earth we do when we see the Dalai Lama." "What are you doing?" I grab it back. It tears down the middle. I seize the other half from him and hold it close to my chest. "My dad wrote those words," I say. "This is all I have of him right now." I glare at Sam, my breath shallow and fast. He looks into the fire. The flames crackle in his pupils. "Tash," he says, "I'm sorry. It's just, I need to tell you something. Something I should have told you before." His eyes are serious and sad. He's never looked at me like that before. "What?" I ask. "What is it?" "Just before we left, I joined the resistance with your parents." His words form a wall that slams into me. "You're lying," I say, but I know he's telling the truth. I just don't want to believe it. "Why didn't you tell me?" "One of the rules is that we can't tell anyone. They say trust no one." It takes a second for his words to register with me. We always promise to tell each other everything. I close my fists and think of our eagle signal. It's meaningless now. "You talk about the truth, and all the time you were lying to me, Sam. You were lying." "I know, I'm sorry." "Are you?" I ask. "Or is that just another lie?" The fire reaches a grassy bit of dung and sparks and fizzes, matching the anger I feel inside. "If you don't trust me, then why are you coming with me?" "It's not like that," says Sam. "I want to help you." "I don't want help from a liar," I yell. Pure hurt pours from my mouth. I picture Mum, Dad and Sam sharing secrets together, laughing behind my back. "I know what you've been doing this whole time," I say. "You've been stealing my family because your dad doesn't care about you." There's a silence and I can feel the pain surging out of him. "You want me gone?" he asks, his cheeks flashing red. He pauses, waiting for my response. I shrink inside myself. "Fine, come on, Bones." He disappears, swallowed up by the blackness outside. The shadows claw up the cave walls. I reach out and touch the cold sides to steady myself. "Don't go," I whisper. It's too late. My voice echoes around an empty cave.